Guys, I'm here to talk about one of the best superhero movies of all time. I'm here to talk about The Dark Knight before The Dark Knight. I'm here to talk about
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins away.
Spider-Man 2. Guys, this movie just takes everything from the first movie and just elevates it. All the way from the performances to the music to the story to the characters, everything. Everybody from the first one is back. We got Sam Raimi directing, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, Kirsten Dunst Snaggletooth as Mary Jane Watson, and everybody brings it. Everybody in this movie brings it. I'm just gonna start with the action scene. It's gonna be the easiest thing to talk about. The action scenes in this movie are still to this day some of the best action scenes put to film. The train scene in this movie is stupid. It is absolutely stupid how good it is. It is Spider-Man at its finest. Even still to this day, we have not had a Spider-Man action scene like that. The bank robbery scene is an amazing fight scene because I love how it goes from one action set piece completely to another. They go from the middle of a bank to the side of a building. That fight on the side of the building is one of the coolest fights ever. Because before then, we have never seen anything like that. We have never seen two people on the side of a building whooping ass. I love the way they used Dr. Octopus's tentacles. Dr. Octopuses? Dr. Octopi? Octopuses? Octopi? I love the way how they use Dr. Octopus's extra limbs to like throw Spider-Man like across the street, or he'll like just smash him into the wall or something dope like that. And the fights in this movie, they're brutal, man. I didn't get to comment on it in my last video because that bitch was like 10 goddamn minutes long, but the action scenes, I love them because they do not hold back at all. In these new superhero movies, like sometimes they'll hold back a little bit because they're still kids movies at the end of the day. But in these original Spider-Man movies, man, they do not hold back at all. In the first Spider-Man, he has an explosion that goes off in his face. In this one, he gets hit by a goddamn train. Spider-Man gets his ass kicked. But the good thing about that is that Spider-Man don't take no shit. Oh god, I love the way how he uses his webbing to just like yank people in and just pop them in the face, or he'll be like flying in from a skyscraper and he'll use his webs and just launch himself in and just kick the shit out of somebody. Dude, the fight scenes in this movie are so dope. Now let's talk about the story. I love the character parallels between Peter Parker and Dr. Octavius. They are literally like almost the same person. That's just a difference in morals as to which way they want to go. At the end of this day, this movie is about two men who are just broken down to their core. They are just broken down. At the beginning of this movie, hell, like throughout most of the movie, Peter Parker is just getting the shit kicked out of him. He's losing his job, his powers aren't working right. Harry, his best friend, hates him. He wants to be with Mary Jane. Mary Jane wants to be with him, but they can't have that because, you know, Spider-Man. Great power comes great responsibility and all that shit. Peter Parker is just having the worst time ever in his life, and they do a great job of showing that in this movie. And the same goes with Dr. Octopus. He's an everyday guy like you and me. He just wants to live his dreams. He wants to see this fusion shit, this science shit, whatever he's doing, he wants to see it come to fruition. But it fails and it kills his wife. It turns him into this monster, and he loses his shit, man. He just absolutely loses his shit. It just comes down to one of the main themes of this movie, which is sometimes in order to do what's right, you have to give up the things you love, and which even includes your dreams, which works wonderfully in this movie because with Peter Parker and Mary Jane, they know they love each other, but they can't do anything about it. Mary Jane for damn sure can't do anything about it. She's trying to throw that thing at him the whole damn movie, and he's just like, He's not having it, and it breaks him down because that is his dream, to be with Mary Jane. That is what he wants in life the most, ever since he was a little boy. But he can't do it, man. He just can't. And so it gets to a point where it starts to mess with his mindset, and so his powers stop working because he's losing focus as to what he wants. He doesn't know if he wants to stop being Spider-Man in order to go be with Mary Jane, or if he wants to continue to live by what Uncle Ben told him and be Spider-Man. And one of the most powerful scenes in this movie is when Peter Parker, he's having like a dream or a vision of some shit, and he's talking with Uncle Ben in the car. And Uncle Ben, he's like, take my hand and you can be Spider-Man. That is who I want you to be. That is who you should be. That is what you were born to be. Take my hand and you will be Spider-Man. And Peter Parker, he is just so down in the dumps. He is just so broken that he is just like, I cannot do it anymore. This is taking over my life. And so he turns Uncle Ben away. He doesn't take his hand. He doesn't choose to be Spider-Man. He just chooses to be Peter Parker, regular everyday Peter Parker. And this is where the movie slows down a little bit. But that's because it takes time to focus on the characters rather instead of just like fight scene here, explosion over there. We explore Peter Parker's psyche and how broken he is. Mary Jane Watson, she wants to go and marry this astronaut, and she damn well knows that the astronaut is not for her, but she just wants to feel something. She wants to feel connected to somebody in her life because it didn't work out with Harry. Her dad's an asshole. The only real relationship she has with anybody is with Peter and Aunt May. And so when Peter just keeps turning her down, she doesn't know what to do anymore either. Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane in this movie is just great because the way she portrays Mary Jane, you can feel what she feels. But the irony of it all is that you know what Peter Parker is going through too. You want them to be together, but at the end of the day, it just cannot happen. And so we spend a good chunk of the movie just digging out what these people really want in life, and it just brings me back to the theme that sometimes in order to do what's right, you have to give up the things you love, which in Peter's case is Mary Jane, and Dr. Octopus's is his fusion science shit. Aunt May as Rosemary Harris is probably one of the strongest characters and has probably one of the strongest performances in this movie. Her house is being foreclosed on. Peter comes in and tells her that he was the one who was actually responsible for the death of Uncle Ben, and instead of actually being broken down like everybody else is in this movie, Aunt May is one of the true lights in this movie. When she's moving out of the house, Peter comes by and he's like, this is the house you and Uncle Ben lived in. And she's like, it's just a house, man. It's just a house. At the end of the day, we just have to keep moving forward. We have to just focus on what we want at the end of the day. She just gives one hell of a speech. I was sitting in my bed like, you're damn right. I applaud Sam Raimi's directing in this movie because at the time when this movie came out, the superhero movies coming out were Catwoman, The Punisher, Daredevil, that first shitty ass Hulk movie, and Sam Raimi, he not only did he improve upon his first mark, he raised the bar even higher than what anybody else could expect from the superhero genre. The scene where Dr. Octopus, he's in the hospital bed and all the doctors, they're gonna saw his mechanical limbs off, and like I was saying in the first Spider-Man review, you can tell the horror influence on this movie because this scene again is almost like a horror movie. It's some scary shit if you actually think about it. This man is just laying down unconscious on a table, and then all four of his mechanical limbs are just hellbound on killing everybody in the room in the most fucked up ways possible. Sam Raimi's directing in this movie is great, all the way down from the way he handled everybody's performances to the way that the story was handled, the music, the action scenes. Everything in this movie is just handled so perfectly, and that is just a credit towards Sam Raimi's directing. Guys, Spider-Man 2 is an A+. Yes! Guys, look, I don't mean to be all gushy about these movies or anything, but these first two Spider-Man movies are the movies that got me into movies in general and got me into filmmaking and wanting to be a filmmaker. Maybe it's just a nostalgia that I have for these first two, but God, I fucking love these first two Spider-Man movies, man. Enjoy these first two while you can. As you can see on the right side of the screen, we're gonna step into Shit City real soon. And if you haven't watched Spider-Man 2 recently, go back and watch it again. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the shits. We got Spider-Man Homecoming on Friday, so I'm gonna hope that Spider-Man Homecoming is just as good as Spider-Man 2 or even better, but I probably shouldn't put my bar that high. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.